So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a video. Essentially, it was a lady who flew first class, black lady who flew first class for the airlines of American Airlines. And she, by the time they were serving food, they got around to her. They said, um, I mean, we fresh out. So I don't know what you gonna do, but deuces. So she was just like, I guess I'm a little confused because I'll tell you this from my own personal experience. I've only ever flown Delta Airlines. Everything that I've seen, okay, and I'm not like an experienced flyer or anything like that, but I've taken a few trips here and there, okay. So they always, for me, they always serve the person in the aisle then the window. That's what I've always seen anytime that, and what I found to be interesting was how they served the window and then her, and they said, "Oh, we ran out of food." Did y'all even run out of food? Okay, that's what we're gonna take a look at. All right.
Trust me, the feeling that you have watching this video, I was feeling worse during that time. Okay. When I posted that video, I wasn't thinking about suing. I wasn't thinking about this and that. My first question that I just couldn't get past is, don't they know how many seats are in first class? How can you run out? If you're going to ask me, did they run out of a food that I want? No, they ran out, period. The only thing she offered me was a drink. She says, would you like anything else to drink? She didn't give me a chips. She didn't give me, like, absolutely nothing. And no, I was not sleeping. And yes, my ticket was bought 5 days before. And yes, I was angry. You see this text right here? I was heated. I was texting my boyfriend and I was like, I couldn't believe this. As you can see in the text, I said that I did not eat anything. I didn't eat anything all day. I looked forward to this. I paid for first class thinking I'll eat on the plane. And people are telling me I need video proof. I don't have video proof. I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't think this could happen. Right? I didn't think this could happen. I didn't think this was a thing. But now, after reading all of the comments and all of the women that's been through it, now I understand. It caught me off guard because I didn't think it was a thing. And people are telling they should have extra food. But the flight attendants that work for American Airlines, they say that they don't have extra foods. So my thing was, the one thing I couldn't get over is that how is like how can first class not have a meal for everybody? How can, it's not like they had something and I didn't want it. No. They ran out. Like, I don't get what part of they ran out that you guys don't get. They told me point blank, they ran out. They ran out. Not like, do you want this? Would you like that? I'm so sorry. They ran out. Would you like anything else to drink? That was it. It's clear. It's cut and dry. It's cut and dry. And everybody's asking me for different perspective, or maybe this happened, or maybe no. It's a straight line story. There's no backstory. It's just cut and dry. Cut and dry. That's it. No, I didn't report it. No, I didn't call the airlines. Cause honestly, I honestly, I was baffled. Okay, like my brain couldn't comprehend that this happened.
Imagine being the only person, the only black female in first class. You are the only black person, you are the only black female in first class. And when it's time for them to serve the food, when it's time for them to prepare the meals and break the drinks and all the things that go on in fucking first class, they tell you they don't run out. Mind you, first class only got like 8 seats. On this whole big ass fucking plane, y'all only brought 7 meals for fucking first class. I'm really fucking confused, honey. I am confusion. I am confusion. And another thing, when you look at her video, like the way she's sitting, it looks like I could be wrong, but it looks like she's sitting on that aisle seat in the first class, right? Now she's the only black person. Everybody else is white. But the person beside her got food. So you're literally, you're literally going to literally pass the plate around me and give it to that bitch and then tell me y'all ran out. And this is American Airlines, by the way. What in the fuck is going on? I hope she sues them for everything. And I'm not even gonna say about my bad experience with American Airlines. They ain't gotta worry about me. They ain't got to worry about me no more.
Okay, y'all. So did y'all see that video where the black lady is on the American Airlines flight? She's sitting in first class, and all around her, everyone is eating. Everyone. And they're all white. But she is the only black person in first class. And she's not eating. Why, you may ask? Because she was told by the flight attendants that they ran out of food. So they had enough food to accommodate all of the white tea people that were sitting in first class. But for some reason, when it came to her, they ran out. So, yeah, I mean, and I can already, see the comments where there's going to be white tea people on here who say, well, that's happened to me before. It didn't. It didn't. You were not in a situation where you were the only white tea person in first class on any flight ever, and you were not served. And all the black people around you were served. That never happened. So don't come on here with that. Then you'll have some white tea people say, well, they probably miscalculated how many people are going to be in first class. Wrong. They didn't, because all of the people around her they're serving, which means that even on her row, the people on her row were served. She was skipped. Because that's what people are going to do. White tea people are going to come up into this video and they're going to make their comments and try to deflect. They're going to try to gaslight as to make it seem like, oh, well, it wasn't because she was black. It wasn't racism. It's not what it was for. That's not what that was about. We know better. We know better. We know better. But yeah, so these are the types of things, this situation here is something that used to happen to black people back in the day. Black people paid their money for first class just like anybody else. And in some cases in the past were charged even more. Black people were overcharged for things that white tea people were getting. And then they still didn't get the perks that went with it. These are the things that were done in the past. So it's the same type of thing that's happening again.
So you thought you had a bad day. I am on a 5.5-hour flight on the way to Phoenix from Boston. And they had the announcement that there's no food for purchase on this flight. I don't know. Has this ever happened to you?
Is American Airlines first class worth it? Well, let's get into it. So the leg room is very comfortable, nice size room to move your legs, stretch your legs. A big plus compared to basic or economy. If you order a drink, they're going to serve your drink in a glass like this, whether it's orange juice or alcohol. And then the flight attendant comes around with this basket of snacks. You can get however many snacks that you want to get. I actually got 2 bags of chips there, and they were pretty tasty. The only downside is you have to pay for your Wi-Fi. So you have to pay for your Wi-Fi if you do not have T-Mobile. So
the next time you buy an airplane ticket, just ask for an upgrade. Pay a little extra money to fly first class. What it does is it conditions your mind. Once you get in first class and you see how wide the seats are, Everybody get a washcloth. They got a menu. You get to decide what you want. All the drinks is free. Once you sit in first class one time, the next time you get on a plane, it's very difficult to walk past them seats. And then your mind starts thinking of ways to get back to first class.
Story time. So, this is a story time about the time that I was reminded that tomorrow is not promised and you cannot put off till tomorrow anything that you want done today. Let's get into it. It all started about 3 weeks ago on an American Airlines flight to Texas. I was going to my cousin's graduation, so my mother and I got on the plane to go. Now, this flight to Texas was an early morning flight. I think it left about 5 a.m. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm always on early morning flights because normally when I go to a place, I like to get there and have my whole day there. So this is not unusual. So I usually just get to the airport early, get on the plane, and just sleep the whole flight. And it's fine. So this day was no different. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. I got to the airport with my mom. We got through the airport fine. I got on the plane. And as soon as I got on the plane, I went to sleep as usual. Child, when I woke up, I was gasping for air. All of a sudden, I looked up and everything was spinning. And I just felt like I was about to have a heart attack. My heart was beating out of my chest. I started sweating uncontrollably, and then I started throwing up uncontrollably. It was so bad that when the flight attendant came over to ask me, did I want to go to the bathroom, I couldn't make it. That's how dizzy I was. Child, all I could think about is, Lord, if I gotta die, please wait until the plane lands, because I don't want to die up here in the air. Thank God my mom was sitting behind me because she said when I woke up, she could hear me gasping for air, and she immediately changed her seat and made the man sitting next to me move so she could sit next to me. By this time, child, I got my eyes closed because I don't want to see everything spinning. I feel like that's going to make me sicker, but I'm continuing to throw up. They have by this time gotten the bag for me to just throw up in, and my eyes are closed, but I can hear the way that the flight attendants are responding. It's like there isn't an emergency going on. Like I'm not almost dying. Like I could hear them asking my mom, do you think she needs some ice? And my mom is like, of course she needs ice. Like, do you think she needs to go to the bathroom? Like, it was just so ridiculous. At a couple points, they were like short with my mom, and I couldn't say anything because I couldn't even make it to the bathroom. So I was not in no position I could tell nobody else. But they needed it. And of course, to top all that off, we wasn't nowhere near about to land. We had like another hour and some change to the flight. So I'm just continuing to be dizzy. I'm continuing to be hot. At this point, they have thrown ice all over me just to keep me from passing out. I am throwing up like uncontrollably. I can't even stop at a point. So I'm just over here in the bag, and my mom is like, it's going to be okay, Jamie. It's going to be okay. So when we finally get ready to land, my eyes are still closed because, again, I don't want to see nothing spinning. I can hear the flight attendant come over to my mom and say, she's going to have her seatbelt on before we land. While I'm like in the bag, I can hear my mom like, ma'am, she can't. And before she could finish her sentence, the flight attendant is like, well, she has to have on a seatbelt before we land. It's a necessity. Thank God my eyes were closed. I couldn't see the flight attendant's name. Because if I did, honey, you would be in this video. I'm sitting here throwing up uncontrollably, ma'am. And presumably having a seatbelt on tight around my waist is going to make me throw up more. I mean, do you want me to throw up on you? Anyway, we finally land. They make an announcement that everybody had to stay on the plane until I got off. The ambulance had to come retrieve me. Being that dizzy and having a wheelchair coming to get you and having an ambulance wheel you through the airport is crazy because you're already dizzy. And that movement, ugh. So I get to the hospital, child. They give me fluids. They give me all types of tests to make sure that I'm not dying right at the moment. To make sure that I'm not actively dying, okay? Once they get the fluids in me, I start feeling a little better, but I'm still like out of sorts. But I'm not throwing up anymore. Turns out that I got sick because, you know those little air vents above your head? Mine was blowing on me before I went to sleep. But I didn't realize it was blowing hot air on me, and the hot air was the fumes from the engine coming through. So I was inhaling that in my sleep. Hence the reason why I woke up gasping for air. I'm not even 100% yet still. I'm just thankful not to be throwing up every second. The point is, thanks be to God, I wasn't actively dying. But there's no reason that I didn't have to be actively dying. None of us knows the day or the hour we're going to leave here, honey. That morning when I was getting ready, I was not anticipating spending the whole day in the hospital, having blood drawn and having all types of tests done. I had picked out a little cute outfit that I threw up all over. I had freshly washed my hair and curled it just for it to get ruined when they had to throw ice on me to make sure I didn't pass out. Do not put off till tomorrow what you can do today, and cherish every day like it is your last, because the next day, the next hour, the next minute, the next second is not promised. And just because you're able to use all 5 of your senses now does not mean that you're promised to be able to do that in the next minute, in the next second, or the next hour. So my advice is to cherish the days, because each of our days are numbered. So yeah, that's the story time about recently when I was reminded every day is a gift. Use it wisely and to the glory of God every second you get.
And fly American Airlines with caution. It just might make you sick.
Why did I write a song called No More Parties in Toronto, and then I booked a flight to Toronto to go party there, and I got stranded in Dallas, and now I'm being forced to party in the USA. Buckle up, because the story time is wild. I booked the flight to Toronto from Cancun, except I had a layover in Dallas, and the layover was only supposed to be for an hour and a half. This is with American Airlines. American Airlines, y'all will be hearing from me, but for now, I'm just going to tell the story. So, I get on the plane, it's 7:50 in the morning, I fall asleep immediately. I don't care about the food, I don't care about the drinks, I just want to shut my eyes. I wake up to the pilot saying, "Welcome to Houston." I'm like, Houston? I thought I was flying to Dallas. I take out my headphones and I'm listening to the announcements, and the pilot basically says there was a massive storm in Dallas, and so we were forced to divert to Houston and land there instead because they shut down the airport. We weren't supposed to get off the plane. We were supposed to wait out the storm and then fly back to Dallas. Except we didn't know how long the storm was gonna last. So 30 minutes goes by, everybody's still sitting on the plane, baby's crying, my phone's dying, and then the pilot comes back on the PA system and he says, okay, customs is gonna let us get off the plane, but you have to pass through customs, get your checked bag, and then check your bag in again and get on the same flight. So confusing, and for what? This is too many instructions, I just want to go home. I'm like, fine, I'll do that. 200 of us get off the plane, go through customs, we go get our bags. And once it's time for us to check in our bags again, all the little kiosks are not working because our flight confirmation number is different. So we have to wait in these lines, and there's these crowds of American Airlines staff all telling us different things. Some of them said, we don't have to get new boarding passes. Some of them said, just put your bag here and TSA will take care of it. We were all so confused, and everyone was like, what is going on? Can you guys just tell us where to go and how to get back on the same plane? When we got off the plane initially, it was like 11:30. By the time I got on the same plane again, it was 3:30 in the afternoon, because I had to wait in line after line after line to get to the front of the line to hear something that was not told to me while I was waiting in line. I was incredibly frustrated, but I was like, whatever, at least I'm on the same plane again. Let me get my ass to Dallas so I can get my ass to Toronto. We get on the plane. It takes us 2 more hours to take off. We sat on the runway in that plane for 2 solid hours, waiting for directions to take off because the Dallas airport was still closed and they were reorganizing all the diverted flights and blah, blah, blah. At this point, my phone was literally dead, so I just fell asleep. I was like, I don't care what happens. Wake me up when we're in Dallas. Finally make it to Dallas. I get off the plane and I see 200 people lined up to talk to American Airlines customer service. And at this point, I had been getting so many emails from American Airlines telling me to choose another flight and whatever. And every time I would open the email and try to choose another flight, it would tell me there are no seats available on that flight. So I'm like, then why are you sending me this email? So I just waited in line for 2.5 hours. By the time I got to the front of that line, it was 9:30 in the evening. It was 9:30 in the evening. I go up to the desk. I'm like, hi, miss, can you help me rebook a new flight? Guess what? There are no flights available to Toronto until Friday morning. I was supposed to fly there on Wednesday. Now I'm not getting there till Friday morning. So I'm like, girl, okay, well, can I get a hotel? She's like, unfortunately, American Airlines doesn't offer hotels for weather-related delays. I'm like, y'all are stranding me in America. Y'all are stranding me in America. The least you could do is offer me a hotel. And I purchased flight insurance too. So I'm like, what's the point of purchasing flight insurance if I'm not going to get a hotel for these delays? She's like, you have to take it up with your insurance provider. Okay, girl. Okay, tell me where my bag is, girl. So then I asked her to track my bag. Why did American Airlines send my bag to Canada? When I was in line to talk to American Airlines, another American Airlines staff girl came up to me and was like handing me these pamphlets. And I asked her, where's my bag? Because I'm waiting in this line to talk to these people, but I don't know if I should go get my bag. She's like, oh, if you have an international flight, your bag is going to stay here. If you have a domestic flight, your bag is going to go to its final destination. So I'm like, okay, cool. My bag is here. I can get it. I can stay with it for the night, whatever, get a hotel, blah, blah. I'm good. No, girl. My bag's in Canada.
Hi guys, I'm literally here on TikTok because this is the only platform that seems to get people's stories out. I have never made a TikTok video or a TikTok, but here I am today. So what was supposed to be a wonderful trip with my partner and I turned out into a nightmare. So we arrived in Miami on Monday, 10th. Overnighted, had a connection. So got into Miami airport. Flight was delayed. No problem. Was delayed by an hour, hour and a half, thereabout. We finally boarded. While on the runway, we were lined up to take off. We sat there for over an hour. And then the pilot said, guys, I'm timed out. I need to take the plane back to the gate. I'm like, what? I'm timed out. My shift is over. So I spoke to one of the flight attendants. This is American Airlines. And she said, oh, we'll have to find another pilot, but our crew is still available. We're not timed out. But if we don't find the next pilot in time, we'll have to deplane and wait. So after a while, they asked everybody to deplane. So we got back to the gate, waiting for a flight. It's now saying 3:00. We're like, all right, fine. We're waiting to hear and anything. And then all of a sudden it's canceled. And they ask everyone to go to the rebooking desk. Mind you, this line is long. There's a lot of people. So we spent 2 hours in the rebooking line to get to the front, only to be told that they're not going to accommodate any cost for overnight. They're not going to accommodate any meal vouchers because it's because of the weather. I said, ma'am, this is not because of the weather. This is because the pilot timed out. We came back and we came back waiting for another pilot and you canceled because clearly there was no pilot to fly this plane. So please don't use this line. Everybody was mad because everybody knew this was not because of the weather, because we could see every other flight leaving. So I checked my destination. Every flight that was going to our destination left Miami airport and landed except our flight. So clearly it was not because of the weather. They were using that so they would not have to compensate us. All right, fine. She was like, okay, well, we're going to put a notice out so you can go get your bags at the reclaim. Got down there, they said to us our bags will be ready within 45 minutes to 6 hours. 6 hours. Okay. So we're there waiting. We're there. So we got to the airport for 9 a.m. It's now 8 a.m. at the airport waiting for the bags. 8 p.m. I'm so tired. 9 p.m., no bags. 10 p.m., no bags. 11 p.m., one bag turned up. Can't find another bag. It's like, where's our bag? So everybody, it's chaos down there. Everybody's looking for their bag. There's one person bringing bags, like one bag. And we're like, if the plane never left, you should just all bring all our bags back so we could get it. Oh, we don't have staff to do that. Okay. So I'm like, all right. So some people realize that now they're saying some of the bags are in Cancun because it left on another flight. How is our bags there and we couldn't get there? So I double checked, and one of my other bags is now in Cancun. So, more fun that it's more fun now because they're saying that the next flight out is on Thursday. It's not a straight flight. We have to do 2 connections, and it's late in the evening. I'm like, ma'am, this cannot happen. So we decided to book another flight from Fort Lauderdale now with JetBlue to our destination, costing us another $700 plus. And we still have nothing back from American. So we now have to pay for accommodation. We now have to pay for extra stuff. We should be at our destination at an all-inclusive resort. So we've lost that night there. Our money is now gone for the taxi we pre-booked because that's already taken off. So we're just a mountain bills at this cost. So I'm trying to not let this dampen my vacation. I'm going to get on that flight and see if my bag is on the destination. And if it's not there, I don't know. But American Airlines, you need to do better. Like every single one of your employee, like every single one of them are just rude, like really rude. There was one helpful guy, but everybody was rude, had no empathy. They talked down to everybody. And it was just crazy. Like, we're not getting this for free. We paid you for this service. So I'm going to write to you after because I'm going to get every penny back because this is not great. And I do not appreciate this. Like, you ruin people's vacations. There's people who are there and they can't leave till Thursday because they can't afford to pay for another flight with another airline. There are people who had 6 kids traveling with them. People had small children with them. And it's crazy that you would not compensate for anything. Like, how do our bags go missing and nobody can see what happened to it on a flight that supposedly never left? I don't know. Somebody help me. Somebody reach out to me and help me get my money back from American Airlines.